Welcome back to Real Talk with Jay and Jazz. Today we're having a conversation that every couple needs to hear. And I mean every couple. That topic will be equal respect in relationships.
Right. Because real love is bigger than attraction, chemistry, or any social media goals. If respect is missing, the relationship eventually struggles.
And this isn't about men versus women.
No, this is about understanding, accountability, communication, and building something healthy together. Which leads us straight to our first question. What does equal respect actually mean in a relationship?
Well, for me, equal respect means understanding that my feelings, my thoughts, and my experiences matter too. I believe a lot of us men are taught to provide, protect, fix problems, and keep moving. But sometimes people forget men need emotional respect too. Respect means I can communicate without being mocked, shut down, or told my concerns don't matter. As well as it meaning my effort is acknowledged. It also means that disagreements can happen without insults, manipulation, or power plays.
Right.
Equal respect also means partnership. I don't want control over a woman, and I don't want to be controlled either. I want a relationship where we both listen, both compromise, and both protect the relationship instead of trying to win every argument.
That sounds great. And from my perspective, equal respect means being treated like a partner, not like an accessory or an emotional punching bag. It means my voice matters in decisions, communications, finances, parenting, all of those things. Respect means I can express concerns without being dismissed as being too emotional or too sensitive. It means my individuality is valued. Healthy love allows space for both people to grow, evolve, and be heard. Equal respect also means emotional safety. Like I should be able to communicate openly without fear of being humiliated or intimidated or receiving some type of punishment for expressing myself. When respect is present, you don't feel small in your relationship. You feel supported, valued, and secure. So, Jay, do you think men and women can be equal even though they're different?
Absolutely. Equal doesn't mean identical. Us men and women, we often communicate differently. We handle stress differently and express love differently. But difference doesn't cancel equality. Sometimes relationships struggle because people expect their partner to think exactly like them. That's totally not true. Respect means understanding we can have different strengths and still stand on equal ground. A man's strength shouldn't silence a woman's wisdom, and a woman's strength shouldn't invalidate a man's emotions. Healthy couples learn each other instead of competing against each other.
I agree with that. And I actually like how you touched upon how relationships struggle because people expect their partner to think like them. That is totally unrealistic. I agree with you. But being equal doesn't mean we erase our differences, though. Differences can actually strengthen a relationship when they're handled in a mature way. For example, one person might be more emotionally expressive, another might be more focused on solutions. One might lead in certain areas or excel in other areas where the other one has different talents or areas that they excel at. That doesn't create any imbalance unless someone is trying to use that to create superiority. Equality means respecting each other's contributions in the relationship without turning the relationship into a contest or a power control. Healthy love says we're different, but we're valuable in different ways. So, what do you think destroys respect in a relationship?
Well, I would say disrespect usually doesn't happen overnight. It grows in patterns. For instance, like constant criticism, belittling language, public embarrassment, double standards, weaponizing personal insecurities, and as well as refusing accountability. From my perspective, many men lose emotional safety when they feel like vulnerability gets used against them later. If a man opens up about fears, pains, or struggles, and those moments get mocked during arguments, the trust gets damaged. Respect also dies when communication becomes about dominance instead of understanding. You shouldn't feel like your relationship is a battlefield.
That is so true. I'd also like to add in emotional manipulation, silent treatment, controlling behavior, dishonesty, and emotional neglect. Disrespect isn't only yelling or cheating. Sometimes disrespect is quiet. For example, like your partner's not listening, or you set boundaries, but then they cross them by ignoring them, or invalidating your feelings. Sometimes it's simple as just making your partner feel invisible. From my perspective, respect fades when effort becomes one-sided. When the emotional labor, communication, or responsibility falls on one person most of the time. Love shouldn't feel like carrying the entire relationship alone. Respect survives when both people stay accountable, compassionate, and willing to grow. So we've talked about all of the negative things. So what does a healthy relationship actually look like?
I would say a healthy relationship looks like teamwork. Not perfection, but teamwork. We communicate honestly, we solve problems together, as well as we protect each other's peace instead of creating unnecessary chaos.
Yes.
A healthy relationship allows room for mistakes, growth, and learning. Nobody's perfect.
Yes.
But healthy couples do stay committed to improving how they communicate, apologize, support, and love each other. From my perspective, a strong relationship feels safe enough to be honest and strong enough to survive the difficult conversations as well as hard times.
I agree. For me, healthy love feels balanced, not because everything is perfectly equal every day, but because effort is mutual. Like there's trust, consistency, communication, affection, and accountability, and emotional maturity. Healthy couples win together, and they celebrate those wins together. They go through hard times together, and then they refuse to treat each other like enemies. Like a healthy relationship doesn't mean there are never any arguments or disagreements or no one's upset. It just means it happens without adding in that disrespect. For healthy love, it's even when we're frustrated, we're still on the same team. Well, I think I've said all I wanted to say. Is there anything else you want to add on?
Yeah. For all my couples out there, just know love isn't about power. It's not about keeping score or proving who matters more. Real love is partnership. It's choosing respect when emotions run high and protecting your partner's dignity even during disagreement. It's also understanding that the strength and vulnerability can exist in the same relationship.
Ooh, I thought of something I might want to add. I thought about respect, how it isn't optional. It's the foundation of a relationship. Because without respect, the communication weakens. Trust, love, all of it weakens. And real relationships require effort from both people. Like you have to both listen, you have to grow, and you have to both take accountability for actions. Because building love isn't built on ego. It's built on mature care, effort, and mutual respect.
And with that said, treat each other right, communicate with respect, and protect each other's peace.
Yes, definitely. Build together instead of competing. Listen to understand, and not just to respond.
Real relationships aren't always 50-50.
But healthy couples stay committed to showing up for one another.
This has been Real Talk with Jay and Jazz. Hit like, subscribe, and comment.